Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of the X Button, Season 5, Episode 43. I'm your host, Alejandro, with me, joining me for the last time in this kind of episode.
Paul, hey everybody. I survived this year.
We certainly have survived, and this show has certainly survived a lot of up and down, turmoil, changes, and all of that, and many lost episodes, including last week's episode that got lost for unforeseen circumstances that I'm not gonna get into. But ironically, this is gonna be like the official first and only time that the X Button is gonna post under the rebranded The Slayer Giants channel because Escape Gaming is gone, dead, dead and buried. Like we're putting like we're putting it 6 feet under and rebirthing it into something different, and kind of like we had said before that we're trying to move into like the live stream version. You probably already saw a couple live streams at this point based on kind of when this is going, from the couple like live streams that I've done from Marvel Cosmic Invasion, the Destiny to Renegades that I got to do with Paul, and me playing through Metroid Prime 4 or Beyond that came out last week. And I've been kind of like doing the double stream and doing Twitch and YouTube. That's basically gonna be the channel like going forward, especially starting in January. But this is the last time that we're recording an episode of the X Button in this way before it completely it's subsumed into the live stream era, which is gonna be easier for me to manage as I continue kind of doing the other thing. But kind of, I feel it's pretty fitting. We're ending this format of the show after five years,
We made it
and
5 years and we're still going to be doing exactly the same thing we're doing. It's just going to be a
mm-hmm,
different method, truthfully.
mm-hmm.
But at least it keeps things nice and fresh, changes
Yeah.
things up, makes it a little bit more accurate as well.
Oh yes, pretty much. And I just like the idea we're gonna be playing more games together, and might as well like it because what's the thing that we like doing the most?
Actually playing the games that we talk about.
Exactly. And with how dire the news just keep being more and more and more, why not try to pivot more into just like the actual escape of it all, which is like
Mm.
playing games? And I've been feeling more of that call. So, but before we do that full transition, before we go on this extended break, as I'll be then traveling on the 22nd, and then I'll be back on the 8th. The Any content will resume until the 12th. So we're gonna be done. We're gonna be gone for a month, starting from today when we're recording. And I'm gonna try to put this live as soon as we finish recording too. So today, so not much of a rigmarole. The last time I'm gonna say it, this is the X Bottom Podcast, the formerly Escapes Gaming podcast that posts every Fridays from 10 a.m. onwards, God willing, available in the YouTube channel formerly known as Escape Gaming, now the Slayer Giants, as well as most audio services around the world, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and the like. You can find links in the RSS feed at tinyurl.com/escape gaming. If you enjoy our show, give us a like and subscribe. No games that we've been playing. Too bad last week's episode where we talked about a shit ton of games, including
Just doing a
mine.
lot of stuff, man. A
Yeah,
lot of stuff.
yes, it was Mindside, Lost Soul Aside, Doom the Dark Ages, Sword of the Sea, AC Mirage, Battle of the Memory, AC Shadows, Close of Awaji, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Destiny 2, Renegades, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC, Dragon Quest 1, HD2D, Snow Runner, Ghost of Yote, and Arc Raiders. That conversation gone
Sure
to the
is a
wind.
shame you'll never hear what our thoughts are on it.
Exactly. You can just imagine. You probably just hear it. But last week, why we're recording a day later is because we just went through Jeff Keighley's birthday party, his usual birthday party,
Yeah.
um, that where he's apparently having an affair with Miss Piggy at this point.
I was wondering how long we would get into the episode before we had to mention that.
We gotta get it. We just kind of have to get it
Oh,
over with. And real quick, Paul,
yeah.
you watching it in and out. What do you think of the Game Awards this year?
Um, it was fantastic because I didn't have to follow like the ebb and flow of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I would kind of zone out, focus on either the movie, a conversation, or the game that I was kind of playing with my brain turned off. And I'd look down and either see the craziest thing I've ever seen or just like more people talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I unfortunately missed pretty much every speech
Mm-hmm.
I missed every intro. I missed every bad joke. I missed all of the Muppet stuff outside of seeing them on screen. And then I
Mm-hmm.
showed it to Elizabeth, and she said, ugh, because she is one of the few people that actually hates the
Yeah, it
Muppets.
really, she hates
She
them.
does not like the Muppets at all. I keep trying to convince her. She's like, you will never convince me.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. But anyway, that's deep lore will be required to unlock that
Mm-hmm.
memory from her. But as of right now, it was wonderful because I would try to focus in as much as I could, but if something was dragging too much, I kind of lose, kind of
Mm-hmm.
focus on something else and then come back to it. But I feel like I caught most of the actual announcements and most of the awards. I just didn't have the connection of like the audio and like
Mm-hmm.
the big hype to it. However, I still felt a lot of hype. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, just in like
Um,
the just in the quality of the
so
announcements
I
alone.
somehow feel like I hit the best of both worlds personally, and then everything that I missed, truthfully, I went back and like listened to it with the audio, went through a list of all the stuff that got announced, and I like re-experienced it all with a fresh mind, fresh
Mm-hmm.
eyes, not super tired because the East Coast got shafted. With that time, and I don't think we finished until like 11:30 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The show that is, but overall, it was a great time and I loved it. And we'll talk more details in a bit. What about you?
I enjoyed the show for sure. I have made peace of mind that this is more a showcase for me where I just want to see like what's coming soon or soonish.
Yeah.
And
As much as I really want to focus on the celebration of the award side of
mhm,
it, it is definitely turned into what big reveals are we going to see?
yeah.
I'm a little sad about it myself and my own like participation
Mhm,
in that machine, but I don't know. It's like if that's the big Super Bowl for us, looking forward to what's coming up next. That's kind of all I can latch on to, especially as I get older and
mhm,
there's less to be excited about, not just in gaming, but in everything.
mhm.
Where you're just like, what do I need to look forward to? And fortunately, I feel like I got a lot of stuff.
Yes. And like to be fair, like to the award side, like last year certainly was an improvement for what Keely did. Remember, 2023 was the disastrous wrap it up moment after like the time that Christopher Judge went forever in his like acceptance speech in 2022, and that was like a problem because it that airtime was tied to the fact that Steam was gonna be giving Steam decks every like couple minutes, and that extended time kind of like extended the time that they were gonna do that, so that was gonna be like a big monetary problem. So that's why they tried to keep that tight. But in 2023 was disrespectful. I didn't feel 2024 was disrespectful. The only thing that I
I
would say
think
with
it was
20,
a lot better overall,
yeah,
if I'm remembering right.
yeah, he allowed like the awards that were given. They allowed for the speeches and all of that. I would say there were less awards given that had the stage time this time around, and there are a few categories that I was like, "You're really just gonna dump that in the here's the rapid the shotgun blast. I'm gonna run through five of these in a while." So I was like, that felt like a step back. But again, I've kind of just made peace with the fact that until categorization is fixed so that not many different games are kind of like lumped together in a category that they shouldn't be together. And
Racing and sports being together still kills me.
yeah, and action adventure including shooters always
Oh,
is
that's
it's
ridiculous.
such a like a disservice to the actual FPS genre and also the action game genre. Like you can make action adventure, action, and FPS are completely separate categories. But I know there's better award ceremonies that treat the award side a little slightly better. This one's at least the only thing that I've come to appreciate for the ones that win is that the Game Awards is like the most watched event out of all of this, and it's at least a moment for like the dummies that tune in to at least kind of see like who wins, and that is kind of like a marketing, like it's like a marketing beat for them, and that's the one thing that I say it's important, but I don't try to take it as seriously as like this is the be all and all. That if you win this, is like the most important one. This is the kickoff to many awards to come from many sides and all that. So overall, okay, I was okay with like the awards, especially because one game in particular was a massive curb stomp in a way that I've not seen in an award show since probably Return of the King in the Oscars when they won literally everything.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So, but beyond that, like great announcements. There were a few that literally like knocked me on my ass. Like some announcements, I was like, "What? and I can't wait to kind
I
of
gotta
get
say,
into it.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a little discussion about that because I mean, like you and I were kind of able to talk it through text, but that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have the same immediacy
Uh-huh.
or passion behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Exactly.
so I'm curious to hear our.
I considered streaming my reaction, but I was like, it's gonna be just by myself, and I was invited to be in a certain grumpy person's podcast today. I was like, I don't want to like be reacting to this with like a Debbie Downer, so I declined. So I was like, maybe for like next year, maybe we could kind of like plan it or gather more people together that are more kind of like energetic, and we kind of go to. Is it me or my camera is like messing up? Like
It's
I
kind
keep
of it's turned moving a little bit, but I didn't
yeah.
know if that was you doing that or not.
This camera like out of the text, like if it's the text movement, but I've been noticing kind of like blinks and all that, which is weird. I have to double check if it's
It
not.
just really wanted to change things up
Yes.
cinematographically.
Yeah, so in the spirit of this being the Game Awards, let's just blast through like all this
Sounds
like
good.
30 all this 30 awards before we go into the thing that we enjoy the most, which was the announcement. So
Which of us do you want to read through it?
um let's do one each, but and
Sounds
quickly.
good.
And
Take it away.
I have to give thanks to our clan member Firestorm.
Mhm.
He literally was so bored watching, like he said he was so bored that he was literally typing like the who was winning, like as he
To
was
be fair, I
watching the
don't think he
show.
was bored of the show. I think he was
No,
just bored in general.
yeah, he was just bored in general, and he used that as his way to unbore himself. So I was like, thank you for doing that, because this is in actual order, in the actual order of the show. So
True.
okay, so I'm gonna read one, then you read the other one, then the other one. Okay, you ready? I put it in our
Okay.
Discord. So
Yeah, I got it right here.
okay, so there's the Game Awards TLDW. Too long didn't watch in order. So best family, Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Innovation and accessibility, Doom the Dark Ages.
Best esports game, Counter Strike 2.
Best esports athlete, Chovy.
Best esports team, Vitality.
Best mobile game, Uma Musa. How did she say? Uh, Umama Sumi, Pretty Derby.
Best independent game, Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
Best adaptation, Last of Us Season 2.
Best action game, Hades 2.
Best performance, Jennifer English, Expedition 33.
Games for Impact, South of Midnight.
Best ongoing game, No Man's Sky.
Uh, best
Audio design.
yeah, best audio design, Battlefield 6.
Best content creator, Moist Critical.
Best fighting game, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
Most anticipated game, GTA 6.
Best action adventure game, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Best art direction, Clair Obscure, Expedition 33.
Best sim strategy, Final Fantasy Tactics.
Best debut indie, Dispatch. No, I'm just kidding. It's Clair Obscure, Expedition 33.
Yeah. Best score and music OST, Lauren Tesdart from Expedition 33.
Best sports racing game, Mario Kart World.
Best community support, Baldur's Gate 3, despite the fact that the
Best,
developer said that they didn't want to be nominated. But
yeah, right.
yeah.
Best VR AR game, The Midnight Walk.
Best role playing game, Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
Player's voice, Wuthering Waves.
Best narrative, Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
Best multiplayer, Arc Raiders.
Best game direction, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. And together, Game of
Game
the
of the
Year,
Year, Clair
Clair
Obscure,
Obscure
Expedition
Expedition
33.
33. Which they were the most nominated game in the Game Awards history, and now they also are the most victorious game at the Game Awards
Yep.
history, surpassing The Last of Us Part 2's 7 wins
Oh,
back
I
in
remember
2020.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
people were sick of that by the
Yeah.
end of it. Oh,
Yes,
God.
there was like kind of that meme of like Jeff Keighley saying "The Last of Us Part 2." Like, and I always love watching kind of that supercut of him mentioning "The Last of Us Part 2," and obviously you know that such a divisive game, half of the gaming community was like up in
Oh, yeah.
arms that was the one that it won.
There's a
So
shocking amount of people going, I've never heard of this game before, which was
mm,
very interesting to me and reminds me that as mainstream as it became, there's still a huge region of people that just will have not experienced it. And through no lack of like willfulness, just
no,
sometimes people don't hear
it
about
just
these
didn't
things.
have a marketing budget like you would expect. They didn't have the billboards out in Hollywood, in the buses, and all of that, like many like AAA games that break into the mainstream. That's how kind of
Hmm.
people kind of see. And
You know,
this,
before we dig too far into the Expedition 33 side of it, did you want to comment on any other winners and anything else that you had?
I would say, like, what do you think of the fact that KCD2 got ultra snubbed, like completely?
I feel really bad about it because as much as the really loud crew that we follow loves it, I will say it does deserve its flowers for how impressive and ambitious of a game it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not any game like it. I feel really bad, but also I feel like it's done better against just about any other category except for maybe like true role playing game because
Mm-hmm.
RPG is such a catch-all term
It's
that I
become.
almost don't want to call Expedition 33 an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's like textbook
Technically.
RPG, it's very
Mm-hmm.
JRPG,
Mm-hmm.
but not in the real vein that we would call a role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
That is like your Witcher 3s and
Mm-hmm.
your Kingdom Come Deliverances, where you are truly a role and playing that game in that role. Um, but all it is to say, yeah, I feel bad about it, but also that there's so few places I would have put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would have given best game direction to Kojima for Death Stranding too, because
Yeah,
the
I
cutscene
think that's
direction for
what the
that
game
game.
direction specifically for
Mm-hmm.
me. I think it's very funny how Moist Critical won. I watched the clip of him winning, and
And he was like,
moments before he
uh,
goes, "Please don't like anybody but me." And they say Moist Critical, and there's like a long stretch of quiet, and he just
uh,
goes, "Well,
uh,
thanks, guys."
I know. Yeah, he specifically, I think he did it because like obviously Dispatch didn't get anything
Right.
because of like the awkward nature of when it really sold the content when people found out that it was
Yeah.
actually one of the best things that came out this year, and
I still think Indiana Jones got snubbed.
mhm. But
Um,
the fact that it still was able to get included when so many December games
I am glad it was
missed,
nominated. Yeah.
it's like I feel the PS5 version coming in later in like when it came out in April of this year helped a
Yeah.
little bit keep it more current, despite the fact that that game literally its anniversary was a year and 6 days ago. So it's
Which
like
is crazy to me.
yeah, when we were like that was our what could have been our game of the year if when we did the combined
So
list
close.
if we didn't add the third person that's no longer with us that that messed up that list, but yeah, like, and then Expedition 33, like the indie category, obviously, I think I already kind of said my piece where it's like the fact
Because
that it has a publisher that was all
yeah,
over this show. Also, a lot of the announcements were from Kepler. Was like, there's a certain grossness of seeing that that Kepler, the guys that publish the game that's winning all these awards, is also kind of having all the airtime of like of some of like the
yeah.
of some of the announcements. It's like again, not saying there's anything untoward. It just looks bad.
I
It
would
just
say, I mean, like there, it feels like there's an inherent bias, and part of
mm-hmm,
your job as a presenter is to at least either point a light on it and
mm-hmm,
clarify, hey, by nature of us doing this doesn't like kind of makes it not biased or makes it biased,
mm-hmm.
but or just completely bow yourself out of it, which they're clearly not because they really want the money out of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And
whatever.
also a fun fact. This is the Sony came in with like 19 nominations with like the games that they were like that they had on their slate. They didn't win a single award this year, a single one. And last year they won with Helldivers and what you call it Astrobot, which took the big
Oh,
win.
that's
So
right.
so that so they went clean this year. So not at all. And I do feel bad for like a Death Stranding 2 not getting a single thing like in like at all. There were so many great games that just basically got like overshadowed by the absolute like monster that was the critical love that was Expedition 33. It's like it was someone said it in the SG chat that he's also in our Discord, Eric. He's like he said it's like this is probably the most obvious game of the year winner that I've ever seen since Elden Ring, and now like seeing how it's gone, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and also
unfortunately.
knowing that a lot of people are using a lot of these boats as activist boats to send a message. Last year, hey, smaller teams to do platformers, they're still viable. Hey, Baldur's Gate 3, look what this indie team was able to like achieve. And look at and we already know the millions of stories and permutations that Expedition 33 has with like
And we've
the
covered probably most of them by now.
yeah, the cheapness that it was made of, that we finally learned that it was made by less than $10 million, which is insane. Obviously, different things happen to subsidize a lot of that cost, but it goes to show you you don't have to spend $300 million on your game. So congratulations, Expedition 33. Obviously, these are the Game
Crazy.
Awards nominees. Whenever we come back, we're gonna give ours. Like,
Right.
we're
Next
yeah,
year.
next year, so that at least we have a little bit more time to solidify the top 10. We'll see. We'll say.
We'll see
So
if anything changes.
yeah, I doubt it. Most will change knowing what we're playing now. So
Probably.
yeah, so now it's
Some of
time.
mine tumbled. I got to be honest. I had
Yeah,
a bit of a shakeup, but we'll
I
see
did.
how it
I did
really
too.
lines up.
Just so people knew, I thought Death Stranding 2 was gonna be my game of the year, and that tumbled. Like after
Yep.
revisiting it, so it's
I
like
mean,
a
spoilers, dude. Come on.
but it's like it's just kind of like an example of time specific, like a specific time. It's so kind of like how can I say this? It's so very particular how like you feel about a game, and certainly some games grow on Steam, other games just drop. So okay, gonna look at the games that were announced. We're looking at this picture. Where do you get this picture, by the way? Like the
I randomly searched it, and a guy on Reddit put it all together in like an Excel file,
Mhm.
and so I just copy and pasted the picture of it.
All right, so I'm gonna try to go through most of them real quick, just to.
So you can see from
Mhm.
the title of it whether it's an actual premiere
Mhm.
info or a
Yeah.
port. So you can kind of pick and choose as you want to go.
Yes. So I'm gonna start with like the games that were at the pre-show. So we got Audio Mech, which was a world premiere that's coming to PC. We got Bradley the Badger, which is the freaking funniest thing ever. That's coming to that was also world premiere, and you could wishlist also on PC. We got Decrepit, which I don't remember if it was kind of like a horror game.
Yeah, it's sort of they called it like a Souls-like, but it's a first person, very grounded kind of look, very slow, very like almost thief-like,
Mhm.
but not stealth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, let me see if I can get at least that. I'm gonna reference the IGN like when they do their like tiny blurbs about the air just in case like I forget.
Yeah.
So, but I'm using also this picture that they sent me. So then we got Escape from Duck Hub in New Region, which is kind of like this almost shit posty kind of like cartoon and shooter, right? Like
Somehow is like topping the charts for its early access.
yeah. So that's still like on Epic and Steam. They announced a new DLC update for Guild Wars 2. That thing is still kind of going.
And a full
And
the revamp of its visuals. Did that already happen, or is
I
that
think that was
they
it.
announced
Yeah,
it, but I wasn't sure if that happened or not.
yeah, that's still kind of going. Then one of the Capcom announcements, Pragmata, which it has been quite shown a few times this year, like back in the State of Play.
Almost bordering on being sick of it. However, this trailer was, I think, what I was looking for, which is more the focus of the story and
Mm-hmm,
understanding why I should care about all
mm-hmm,
this, besides the look at how cool it looks and very Kojima-esque it
mm-hmm.
feels. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I had the advantage to say that I played Pragmata. I played it
I
at
know. I'm
SGF.
still waiting for that moment when they finally announced there's going to be a demo
I think it's out
later
now.
on.
It's
The
out now.
PC is out now.
Okay, that's
The I don't remember when they said it, but it's coming soon for consoles.
Pragmata demo. Let me see. Like basically 15. Yeah, 15 minutes slice of the combat. Uh, Yeah, it's just on PC because I know that Runeby, I got a notification she's going live soon.
Oh yeah,
She's gonna be playing it. I already played. I'd say it's a really cool shooter with an interesting twist. And I'm glad that it's coming out earlier in the year too, a little bit
sure.
after Resident Evil
Seriously.
Requiem. So it's coming out on April 24th, 2026, around the time that Expedition 33 came out this year. So and they added a Switch 2 version, and that was kind of like a big thing and theme
Oh,
for
I
the
didn't
Game
hear
Awards
that.
of being like, hey, the Switch 2 is very popular. Don't worry, it's gonna be getting a lot of ports. So Solasta 2, which is kind of like a sequel to like a CRPG that ironically we were talking in our Discord recently, like because
Yeah, some of the crew had played that one, but
mhm.
I hadn't even heard of it.
Yeah,
Which
so
I mean, yeah, fake gamer over here.
yeah, that comes out on March 12th, 2026. They announced like the voice cast, which includes of course Ben Starr. So then we got Stupid Never Dies, which I never
That one caught me
expected.
off guard.
Yeah, that one completely that one caught me
Without
completely off
having the
guard.
audio, the cadence of that first part of the not cutscene, the trailer looked like a music video, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "What the heck is going on?" I'm kind of into what this is, maybe, but I'm not sure. And then it turned into like a character action game.
Uh-huh.
They said it's an action RPG.
Yes.
So that's interesting. Playing as a zombie in a world where there's much more dangerous and horrifying creatures, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it caught me off guard. I love the style of it.
Yeah, it reminded me so much of Shadows of the Damned and Lollipop Chainsaw. That kind of like old school, like weird Japanese
Who's the guy?
360 era.
He's the guy that is making this worked on Killer 7 and with
Suda 51.
Suda 51, yeah.
Yeah, it
Um,
has Suda 51 energy all over it.
oh, for sure.
The and the Suda 51 is doing Romeo something must
Um,
die or something. I think it was
Romeo
called.
Must Die.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
forget.
yeah. I remember it was something. It was a something must die, and it looked so cool. And that was in a state of play from back in June. So, uh, and then what else was here in that in the pre-show? We had a tank rat, which was a interesting like a game about playing with a tank, if I remember correctly. So like that was a world premiere. It's coming to 2026 to PS5 and PC. And then
Romeo is a Dead Man.
Rome is a Deadman. Thank you,
There it is.
thank you.
Romeo Must Die was a movie.
Yes,
I was like, that sounds familiar, but for
yeah,
the wrong reason.
good thing. And then we got the Free Shepherd, which was like a game
It looked
about
like a chill vibes kind of
as you're
game.
playing with like the dog and kind of like the mountains, and you're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
like shepherding, pun intended, like the sheep and all of that. So I see now, like with the things announced here, this list has actually put them all in alphabetical order. So
Yes,
yeah, so
that is correct, and was
so
totally my intention.
yes, so in this way, I think that then we can slightly build to some of like the more important stuff from later on. But
Yeah,
we're gonna use this list
we
then.
can
So
pivot if we want to.
yeah,
I mean,
I
what's
already
the point anymore?
yeah. No, I have I put our IGN article of some of the descriptions of
Cool. Yeah,
things
we can
there.
follow along with that one if we want to.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's switch over to that one. So, and in case they don't put everything, then we can just go through that whole list and see
Right.
what they didn't mention there. So, over at the IGN, they didn't bury the lead. They started with the Megaton. Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic is a single-player game from Casey Hudson.
Coming
So,
out 2030.
yeah, apparently that was just being said in jest by Jason Schreier.
Yeah.
So, like,
The PS7 comment was where I was like, all right, well, that doesn't line up at all with the years that he said, but
uh,
goodness gracious, I really hope not.
exactly. So basically, ironically, there had been rumors that something Old Republic was gonna show up soon. There were like
That
rumors
was
of,
weird.
there was like that report from Steven Totila from GameFile, I think is that what it's called, that he made a deep dive of why the KOTOR 2 like missing DLC that they promised for the Switch ended up not
That
happening.
was a crazy string of news. It was like,
Mhm.
yeah, not only is the Knights of the Old Republic Remake 1 still in progress and we're making good progress, we're also making a full remake of 2 plus the cut DLC
Mhm.
that made that game feel so incomplete. And we've got another one called Fate of the Old Republic. And I'm
Yeah.
like, just kind of hit 1, 2, 3 punch over
Mhm.
and over again here. It just threw me off because man, it's reminding me how much I really love Knights of the Old Republic, and still slightly fearing that it has not aged as well as I was really hoping. However,
In the gameplay
uh,
for sure.
the older I'm getting, the more I'm thinking that I had my finger on that pulse, man, and there's a reason why that game is still beloved by so many people.
Hmm.
So I'm so ready for hearing that one still exists, that two is going to happen as well,
And
and
this
we're
is kind of
getting
like now in the
whatever
like
this is.
yeah, there's something so cool about the idea of them finally bringing those two beloved games to modern times and now doing the proper follow up that got canceled way back in the day because that was planned, like to trying
I
to do like
remember because I
KOTOR
mean,
3.
if I do actually kind of remember that. Yeah, because you didn't play two. It doesn't quite end on like a cliffhanger, but it's definitely a much less satisfying conclusion than
Hmm.
one is,
Yeah,
which is what made a lot of people think, well, you introduced this really interesting concept. Why are you what's happening next, guys? And why is there no real conclusion here? Yeah, it was definitely kind of like it felt like it was building to something, and then it just kind of petered out. So I am here for whatever they want to do. The Old Republic is still that weird blend of canon and Legends content
Mm-hmm.
that is like the last holdout for so many people that really want to love Star Wars and won't let go of what was there before. So, I mean, I'm just so ready for it, but I really want more than just CG trailers. I'm so tired of CG trailers
Yeah,
of Star Wars
because
content.
remember, 40 years ago we got a trailer for Star Wars Eclipse in the same
Yep.
show. In the same show, we got the trailer for the Wonder Woman game. That's dead.
Don't you love it?
But that Game Awards gave us Alan Wake 2, and that did come out, and it was awesome. So it's like sometimes you can get wins, but we need more Star Wars wins. And I feel like the fact that this is Fate of the Old Republic, going back to the untainted era of Star Wars still, because like that has not been touched by movies or TV shows that have ruined anything at any point for certain people. Um, I do love that it's the return of Casey Hudson, the director of the original KOTOR and the Mass Effect trilogy. So it's like at the very least, it's like there's someone that was originally there once again, having their hands on it. That I was like, okay, we'll see how long this takes. Hopefully, like the thing that people forget is that KOTOR, from what I understand, is not that long of a game.
No,
It's a very tight
it's
RPG.
very like I wouldn't call it quite linear,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely like you go in like separate acts. There's nothing for you to do once you've moved on
Mm-hmm.
from an act, and there's like a very clear distinction of when you're ending the game. Like it really knew where to not waste your time, and I think that's one reason why it's lasted so long. Um, but yeah, continue your thought there.
Yeah, and that's why like I would hope that maybe they remember. Oh yeah, it's Knights of the Republic wasn't supposed to be this massive game. Maybe we can make a tighter game, and that means that who knows? Maybe they can come out quicker. But you know how things are in game development now that people think longer is better. We've kind of crossed that threshold, and that's why games take forever now. You got what you wish for, people. Remember what Paul? I remember when you always asked for longer games. Remember, and I was
Yep.
like, I don't think you're gonna like you're gonna regret wishing
I
that.
would be
And
disappointed when a game was 20 hours and I was like, I need more than this. I need more. But that was post college Paul that had all the time in the world.
now Daddy Paul.
That Daddy Paul needs less,
Yes.
please.
Yeah. So the next thing in this article from IGS, so I'm very excited. So look for it sometime later this decade for Fate of the Republic. But that was like the most excited I've been with an announcement. How like that just like knocked me on my ass. So and many people. So the next one, they kind of jumped to the end here. Clear Expedition 33 storms the Game Awards 2025, wins coveted Game of the Year, and launches DLC all in one night. So
And talk
basically,
about not burying the lead. They just put the end of the show right at the start of
uh
their article.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, there's the new deal.
Congratulations, it's the Expedition 33 Awards show, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Kepler presents the Expedition 33 award show. Um, the DLC is out right now. It's a 6 gig patch. I tried to reinstall it. I forgot that I started a New Game Plus save, so
Oops.
yep. So basically, I can't quite access it, but you can go play it. It's something called like it's something in regards to Verso, and they position it as a thank you to the fans. It's kind of like there's like a celebration motif to it. So definitely go check the Kepler Interactive and the Central Games Twitter so you can kind of see a trailer of what the content is. And if you're still feeling to try to go back to the most beloved game of this year, definitely go there. It's for free, just like they promised it was gonna be, and they timed it perfectly. They announced this DLC late October, no, middle of October. Sorry. And when they announced that, I was like, I can imagine they could time it for like a shadow drop at the Game Awards, and that's what happens. Are you gonna go back for this content, Paul, or are you
I'm
safe
glad
here?
you asked. I see Expedition 33 as like that really good Brazilian steakhouse that you went to once, and it was
Mhm.
the greatest meal of your entire life, and then you refuse to go back
Yeah.
because I want to hold on to that image. I do not want to touch the
Hmm.
platforming.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to fight Simon. I want to keep this game as
Hmm.
exactly the picture that I have of
Yeah.
it, with doing like maybe some of the extra side content, but really it's just if I want to redo the story at this point.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna wait until I'm really feeling it.
Yeah, perfect, like perfectly fair. So next big thing. Yup, that weird statue was teasing a new Divinity game. So obviously, like in the week before, like
Sure, yeah.
within the week since last there was an episode of this show, a random statue popped up in the deserts of Pasadena, California, and people were like all throwing guesses of what it could be, and all of that. People thought it was got to be either God of War or something Baldur's Gate related or Diablo, things like that. And then a lot of those developers kept confirming it wasn't that. And then right the day before the show, there was like a someone found the trademark for a Divinity, so that's kind of like what spoiled like the surprise. And Larian tried to because when people saw Divinity, people were like, "They're doing Divinity Original Sin 3 because the last time there was a Divinity was Original Sin," and Larian was like, "No, that's not happening, because Divinity, it's a much older IP for Larian. It was an action RPG.
Something that I
Way,
didn't even realize until recently.
mm-hmm,
I at least didn't find out about that yesterday, but maybe within the last week or so,
mm-hmm,
finding out Divinity Original Sin wasn't just like an IP, but it's been a long-running series for them.
mm-hmm. And Original Sin was them trying to do like a CRPG turn-based sort of thing on the cheap to try to kind of keep that IP kind of like alive when they were like more independent before like how they were. They obviously are using all the money they earned from Baldur's Gate 3 to go back to their original thing that they owned because they didn't own BG3 and they're not gonna work with Wizards of the Coast. Is that what it called? Is that what it's
That's
called?
right. That's the parent company of
Mm-hmm.
D&D, because D&D or Wizards of the Coast are absolute lunatics.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so they're like
Not
they're
the
putting
first time they've done a really bad move.
yeah. And they like sending the Pinkertons to people that owe them debts. That's the one of the freaking funniest things that exists in modern times. But
Hmm.
uh but yeah, so this trailer was insane looking. It was incredibly violent. It was incredibly dark. It was incredibly visually evocative, and I am very curious to see what the game is.
Disturbing and borderline over the top and gave me absolutely nothing on
Uh,
like what the game's actually like.
Exactly. This is one that I'm like glad to know what the developers of Game of the Year 2023 are doing. I still haven't played BG3. I haven't installed. That's like a game that I'm gonna like break glass in case of emergency for like a stream.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I waited because they've added so much to that game, like new endings, new classes, crossplay, the mods thing that you told me. It's like they really supported that game in an insane way. So glad to know glad to know that it was Divinity. At least we know like what it was. It's like the return of an older series, basically. Now with like the
World
cachet,
was right.
yeah, with like the cachet of the developer. It was like just kind of like we guessed it was gonna be. It was like they were gonna put it as it's Larian. You know who Larian is? Like
Just
that's all you need to
immediately
know.
dropping that right at the start.
Exactly. It's like
Glad.
so and now we wait for the first gameplay. So and I wonder if they're gonna do the early access thing again because that was what they did with Baldur's Gate 3. So they
Oh
built
yeah,
that
that's
yeah, they
true.
built that game in early access.
That's a good question.
So Capcom finally confirms Leon S. Kennedy is in Resident Evil Requiem, and this is after like so many leaks happened from PSN Brazil and the pre-order thing that happened that people got to like pre-order the thing on PSN, and then the art that shows up in the preload thing showed Leon. Is like the worst kept secret in the world finally happened. It's like I always said when they pitched us Resident Evil Requiem as the scariest entry and also the most action packed, I was like, that doesn't make sense with what you've shown us because you've just shown us gameplay with Grace and she's like weak and like trembling and kind of going out of her way to evade
Very
all
much
of
out of her
this.
depth and doing her best.
Exactly. So it's like the only way that you can do an action thing is if someone else is in the game, and lo and behold,
Or Grace gets steroids halfway through, and you
yeah.
find out she's Chris's actual daughter and she can punch boulders.
Mhm.
But this was the other option that was a little more realistic.
Yeah, I love how seasoned Leon looks. There's just something so interesting of seeing old man Leon, but not quite old man like we saw with another picture that he looked like Dante in one of those in one of the
He looked
screens.
ancient in some of that, but this one he looks more like a blend between that. A lot of people are laughing at the fact that he still has the same hairstyle that he's had for like
Yeah,
30 or 40 years now.
yeah.
It's like, man, the Leon, the 90s are gone, man. But that's also the most like man that was in his 20s in the 90s is still trying to hold on to that kind of
Mm-hmm.
vibe. I'm fine with it because I don't know if I would have really accepted Leon with like slicked hair or a short buzz cut or something weird. That would have
Mm-hmm.
probably been too much for me.
Yeah.
Um, Man, this was so nice to see my boy back. Like Leon to me is Resident Evil. There's been a nice, fun debate. I don't know if you saw Maximilian Dude's
Mm-hmm.
video where all of his other guys were like super just not big on it.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh man, like whatever, Leon, and like Chris is the real one, or Jill is the true Resident Evil person. But then it was kind of an arguing based on like, what is the point of having Leon? Is this a big deal? People are forgetting that Leon hasn't been in a mainline game since six,
Mm-hmm.
just because we've been doing the remakes, and that probably feels like he's been around longer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Leon is my favorite dude. I don't care. I am just gonna always be a Leon stan, so I'm so glad that he's here. And I like the dual side of it
Mm-hmm.
because if you could make one critique against Resident Evil 4, it would be that it is fully an action game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want Resident Evil to be horror, you got to do something about that. And therefore, new character that is still tied biologically to the early days, and then you throw it,
A new
excuse me,
one.
Leon as the ace in the hole.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, with Leon, you cannot do horror because you've already established him as a badass with four.
Especially in that trailer that they just showed where he wields a chainsaw briefly.
That's like the most. Hey, remember when like you were scared of the chainsaw guy in four? Well, this guy is so seasoned that now like look how the
He has
turntables.
finally figured out how to pick up a chainsaw himself.
Yeah, and
Um,
I love how over the top like the little gameplay that they showed us in that trailer looked with him like doing the thing where like he put the gun beneath his arm and it blew like someone like in the neck and all that. It's
he
like
did his big roundhouse kick. I noticed, or somebody noticed, that not only is the axe in there for promotional material, but that is going to be his, or at least one of his go-to melee weapons now,
mm-hmm,
with its own durability and such. So, whatever that's about, I'm down for it. I even dig the UI. I'm curious to see what's going to go down.
mm-hmm,
At least for Grace being in here, I feel like it's going to be less quote unquote gross than it was with Ethan
mm-hmm.
being like first person with everybody jumping up in his face and getting his limbs blown off all the
Uh-huh.
time. But we'll see what's going to end up happening. I'm kind of curious to see how that goes because clearly we saw some really horrifying stuff in that early
Mm-hmm.
stage of things that Grace is going to have to face. But as long as Leon's in charge, the horror is for the monsters and not him.
Yes, and what I'm curious the most is how is this gonna be handled? Is there a Grace campaign? Is there a Leon campaign? Are there sections where you play one and then the other, but it's still like one
My thought
story?
was gonna be that it would be like three, where you go through chapters, kind of
Mm-hmm.
flip flopping as that's like a concurrent storyline. But I could even see that if they wanted to be fully separate, you could do almost a Claire and Leon
Leon.
from
Mm-hmm.
two, where you go through one, you see them interact with each other, and then you go play the other one. Either way, I don't know which one I would prefer more. I think just from a pacing standpoint, I'd prefer the former. But
Mm-hmm.
from a content standpoint, if it's going to be fleshed out enough, the latter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why that's gonna be the thing that I can't wait to see how they handle it because they've certainly have tried many different ways to
Hmm.
do the multiple characters. We have the RE3 version where they swap to Carlos halfway through. We got
Right.
RE2, which is that you got the two separate campaigns. You got RE6, which was three, like basically four separate games that you picked within that one.
That was
So,
just an insane journey.
dude, Resident Evil 6 is a 40-hour game. Think about that.
It is
It's
a big
uh,
game, yeah.
too long. That game is undone by being too long because of all those like having to do
I
all
mean,
those
you go
campaigns.
through like three big climaxes, and you're still like, God, I had to do this again.
And then you have to do the fourth one to complete to
No,
complete the whole thing. I've never completed that game fully. I've only completed two
no,
campaigns.
I don't think I ever actually played. What is Wesker's son's name in that?
Jake Wesker.
Jake. I never played his. I played. Wait, it was what is the girl's name?
It was
Because it was Leon, it
Sherry,
was Chris, and was Sherry
Ada.
the third?
Yeah, so Sherry's with Jake. Elena
Sherry's with
is with Leon,
right.
and then
Chris
Chris has
has
the companion that
that,
lost.
yeah, yeah, that gets trapped in that underwater thing. But
Mhm.
um yeah, the three, it was, yeah, Jay, Chris, and Leon, and then the fourth was
Ada.
Ada.
Yeah, Ada was the
That's
fourth campaign that
okay, so I
unlocked.
didn't actually play either of those.
Yes. Yeah, originally you needed to complete the three campaigns to unlock Ada's campaign, and then
Right.
suddenly they patched it in so that you could play with Ada immediately. So it's
Yeah.
like they did a lot of interesting stuff with that game. Six is a weird game. It's a really weird. I look back fondly on six in parts, but it's also so bad in many ways. But it's so like I feel the revisionism around six. It's a funny one. But RE9 coming in February 27, 2026, so no last minute delay here. Another big, not quite surprised because it leaked that same day, but it's still a great treat nonetheless. Tomb Raider Catalyst, basically a new Tomb Raider, announced for 2027, and Tomb Raider 1 reimagining announced for 2026. So basically, like Catalyst is gonna be like finally a new Tomb Raider after the last time we Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 2018. So it's been 7 years since the last Tomb Raider. But instead of having you wait for 2 years, they're like, we also remade the original PS1 Tomb Raider in Unreal Engine 5.
That was
Uh,
crazy to reveal both of those at the same time. This is
yes,
just nuts, man.
because it's at least, hey, Tomb Raider fans, you've been like starved for a while, and we know we gave you the Netflix show. That Netflix show, kind of like similar to the DMC show, was mixed. It was received in a mixed way by the fan base. So it's like, why not give you like a fully reworked, very modern, but but honoring that original game, which was like Lara Croft finding Atlantis and
Mhm.
doing it in a way that looks like a proper modern video game. And I'm like, I tell you, I saw that from Real Radic, the Twitter, the Twitter post account that is like between 007 First Light and Tomb Raider, we're getting our Uncharted fix.
Yeah.
Like because Uncharted is still MIA, despite the fact that they said that that's still an ongoing series for them. Back in the back in the investor call from last year, it says
What a
like
time.
so yeah, Tomb Raider comes back next year, and I'm very very good. Do you watch this? Do you watch these trailers?
Yes. I finally went back and caught both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I think the remake of
Looks
one
better,
actually
right?
looks better to me
Yeah.
than Catalyst, which is strange to imagine. Also, I at least how one is going to play out because they showed more,
Mm-hmm.
like they were more confident in letting things be shown because it's an older game, where Catalyst was like, we
Newer
need to
stuff.
hold back and
Mm-hmm.
hide more information. Also, because it's very clearly not going to be out for like 2 years now,
Mm-hmm.
so they have less to show
Mm-hmm.
naturally. Um, so that's none of that's like a negative, is more what I was trying to go for. But that is to say, this first one looks great, and I'm super excited about that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm hungry for this kind of game. It's
oh
been
yeah,
like we have not had an Uncharted like in 7 years. Think about that. The closest we've gotten has been Jedi Survivor and Outlaws to kind of give us a little bit of that taste of that kind of like grand adventure, and we have not had that in a while. So
yes.
I am very excited for the return of Tomb Raider because hopefully with the return of Tomb Raider, it finally like tells Sony, hey, the original like Explorer is
Y'all
back.
were
Where's
idiots for
yours?
trading this IP around constantly.
Mm-hmm. Though to be fair, they did end that with four, but it's like they're still insisting that that's still an ongoing franchise, and kind of like we mentioned in that stream we did of Destiny. What happened to the Cassie Drake thing that they teased back in 2023 when they showed kind of
I
like a
still
female
can't believe that
explorer?
was a thing, and they never said anything about it.
Yeah, it's like and everything that they showed had a purpose. So it was like, why was that there? So, but it's like again, like competition breeds kind of like impulse. So I'm glad that this has finally happened. It's while it's taken 7 years for the return of Tomb Raider, it's gonna be 8 for next year. We certainly had Tomb Raider back with the return of the PS1 and PS2 entries. Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered collection by Aspire, and then 4 and 6, if you remember. So those games, at the very least, Tomb Raider has sort of returned in recent times, but those were the old games. This is the return of like a newer entry. So I'm glad that Crystal Dynamics is still alive after the layoffs, after the cancellation of Perfect Dark because they were helping on that game. So I hope they still survive and be able to deliver the Tomb Raider games. So another big announcement that happened here: the sequel to Control It's not quite Control 2. It's called Control Resonant, and it's coming out in 2026. And
Was not on my bingo card.
yes, and the thing that's different here is that you don't play as Jesse Faden. Instead, you're gonna play as her younger brother Dylan. And not only that, like the gameplay for her brother, it's a straight up Devil May Cry game. Do you see like the like you saw the trailer, right? Like doing all those powers, like juggling characters, like in this very Inception looking world. It's like I mad respect the fact that it's a Control sequel that's so different from the third person shooter that the original was, while still being like the weirdness of like keeping all the hallmarks and weirdness of Control.
You know, now that you mention it, he almost looks like remake Dante without the hair.
Yeah, yes, like
My
including kind
name
of like
is
the hoodie,
Dante.
yeah, including like the hoodie and all of that.
Oh
So,
gosh.
so that was like, oh man, that's actually a very big. That's a big win. Like, I'm very excited. Like, I love Remedy. I love Alan Wake 2. Unfortunately, that game is too scary to properly revisit like on a whim because you have to be like in a very big mental, like with a very big mental like fortitude to like get screamed at by the
I mean,
grandma.
I still, even without that, I remember trying to play the Lake House DLC, and the second all the lights cut out in that weird maze thing, there were no enemies around. I was still like, I don't want to play this, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like it's only darkness and a flashlight, and it's so good at giving me that dread vibe
Mhm.
that I'm just like, I'm not here for it. I
Be-
just can't handle it right
Because
now.
think about it, even with Alan Wake 2, it's like that game doesn't really have monsters, it's just shadows. And that game was still one of like when you're like with at the Alan Wake section, when like you're like in the other like in the lake, when you're like out in the other side and all that, you're fighting
Mhm.
his enemies, like it's just literally shadows that just said wake. And it was still the most unnerving thing that
Messes you
exists.
up,
So it's
man.
like a it's such a that's such a masterstroke in survival horror, like all through the power of presentation, like what they did. Obviously this is gonna be a power fantasy. I can't wait to see like now that they've really fully committed to the fact that Control and Alan Wake are interconnected universes. I can't wait to see like this circling back to whatever's happening with Alan Wake and all that. So it's like it's that's coming out next year. At any point, we're also gonna get the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake from Remedy. So glad that the FBC Firebreak game didn't kill the studio because they lost a
Gosh,
lot
that
of money
was
during
what a
that thing.
decision that was. But hey, at least they're moving the storyline forward. Though it's really funny to have this and know that Alan Wake is over here struggling against
Yeah,
a single shadow monster,
yeah, and
and then
then we got this
Homeboy
guy.
is just juggling them.
Yeah, I love it. So coming to PS5, Series X, and PC next year. Saros, the sequel to Returnal, got a new trailer at the Game Awards, which was like a really. It showed even more like how this is an even more varied version of Returnal, like with different kind of like gameplay styles and biomes and all of that. But the big thing is that it got a delay. This was coming out on March 20th. It got pushed to April 30th now. So that was like kind of like around the time where we had that onslaught of why is everything coming in January to March? Because it was when GTA was in May. So now this is one of the first ones to blink and be like, okay, GTA got pushed to November. There's more wiggle room. Let's not like all crowd up in March. So this is gonna be coming out in April. This stars Raul Kolik, which is a famous actor in many TV shows and also Alana Pierce's current boyfriend.
Oh
Iron,
shoot, really?
yep, ironically.
I didn't
So,
actually know that.
so yeah, so it's like they did a really fun podcast over it because she has this podcast with actors where uh, she had uh, she had Raul, Erika Ishin, and Liam McIntyre, which was Spartacus, who plays well, the actor who plays Spartacus was also playing Wolverine. So she was like, "Ah, I'm hosting a podcast with the three stars of the upcoming PlayStation games. So because Sarah, Raul Coley for Saros, like Liam
Hmm.
McIntyre for Wolverine, and Erika Ishii
Mhm.
for Ghost of Yote. So
I see.
it's a fun podcast. Definitely go listen. Give it a listen. So
Hmm.
I'm excited for this one. I enjoyed Returnal quite a bit. It's a really tough game, but one of the most fun playing games on the PS5.
And
So
I did not enjoy it.
yeah,
But not for lack of difficulty. I just knew it's not my kind of game because
we
bullet
should.
hells and me don't really mix very well.
The thing is that it seems like a bullet hell, but it's not really one. It has kind of like the flow of one, but there's like more depth to it. Like you just have to
Well,
play a
so
little bit
it
more.
paired two things that I really don't like: roguelikes, with very few exceptions,
Mhm.
and the concept of a bullet hell where you just really needing to keep track of all of the little orbs of
Hmm.
different colors and all of their movements and everything, and that's just not my style, I don't think.
Yeah. Let's see how this one does. I'm really curious for Zaros. Like that and Wolverine are the two big first party games for PS5. So the Mario Galaxy movie gets a whooping 30 seconds of new footage at the Game Awards featuring Luigi, kind of like knee cafe, like
Pretty much as soon as I saw this trailer come up, I was like, all right, I'm
yeah.
gonna zone out for a second.
It's literally Luigi just kicking with the knee like Bowser Jr. That was
Somebody
all the
compared the image to Captain Falcon. They were like, "Oh, he took notes in Smash Bros."
and yeah. So another announcement here. This is kind of near the end because they're kind of doing all over, or they're doing. I wish someone could just have an order of operations when they do these things, but they don't. So, Mega Man is coming back. Mega Man Dual Override revealed by
What
Capcom
a
with first
big
gameplay
reveal
trailer.
there.
Yeah, with first gameplay trailer and 2027 launch plans. So this kind of they did the Okami reveal where they had kind of like the music playing and kind of like doing
Yeah,
like the big
that one was
thing.
a really drawn out one. I got to watch that one live pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What the heck are they doing here?" And turns out the when you're going down that hallway in the
Mm-hmm.
video,
There's
it's
like
showing the
references.
years of when the last ones had come out, and like if you look really closely, you can see it. So anybody who's really, really watching every little frame, but nobody really did until the music swelled and it went and everyone
Uh,
went, "Oh!"
mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's so cool that Mega Man is finally back because we just got the investors thing
Yep.
that we saw from Capcom. They were like, we're trying to bring some underserved franchises that included Mega Man and Devil May Cry. So
Mhm.
we got this. I'm pretty sure Devil May Cry is gonna be here next at about the next Game Awards.
Eventually,
Yeah,
let's hope.
yeah. From them, we only got the Evanescence, like the Evanescence
Man, I was
Afterlives.
really, really hoping for something out of
Yeah.
that, but
The only thing we
no,
got
it's
is
just a trailer for the. I don't even think it was a trailer. It was just the release date of it.
May 12th, 2026 for season
Yeah.
2 of Devil May Cry. So another release, the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. That game is now coming out on May 29th, 2026. It still looks really cute. It looks so it
It's
is an
very
Arkham
charming.
game. It is an Arkham game in Lego form. Like to the T. It's kind of wild that
It
they're
really
doing.
was like, fine, we'll do it ourselves.
Yep, and I'm kind of glad that James Gunn was like, yeah, just do that because there needs to be a Batman something after the 9 years wasted on
Please.
Suicide Squad. So Diablo 4 it was not the statue, but they sure showed up. New expansion, Lord of Hatred revealed, and also adds not one but two new classes, including the Paladin. So
What was the other one? I didn't actually see through the trailer what the other one
I
was.
think it was Crusade. I think it was a Crusader.
I didn't realize there were two separate ones.
Yeah, they couldn't. I had to be like, what are the two classes? Diablo
Because I
4.
watched the trailer a couple of times trying to figure out like was the other class shown in it at all, but it was just the paladin and
Mhm.
the demon dude that exploded into the giant monster with the dragon snake tails. And
Uh,
I don't know how anybody functions in the Diablo world where a random dude can turn into something like that.
okay,
I just could check me out of that world, please.
so the Paladin is the only one that's been revealed. The other one
Oh,
is a
so the other
secret.
one's
Yeah,
okay,
the other one is
gotcha.
a secret. So, and that was
Yeah,
gonna be showing up with the DLC, with the DLC, which comes out in April.
right.
But if you want to play as the Paladin now, you can pre-order the DLC. So it's like I was so excited. I was like, oh man, because I've been waiting for the Paladin because I love that
You
class so much.
really jumped the gun on that one and got me way too excited
Yeah,
because you were just like, it's out now. Oh
yeah.
my gosh, the paladin's here.
Yeah, but of course, like how they did it, it's like if you want to play it now, just pre-order that DLC that's coming out in
They hit
April.
us with the Destiny 2 expansion pre-order.
Yeah,
Like, oh, you wanna play this weapon early? You can spend $100.
yeah. I wonder what is the price of that expansion because Vessel of Hatred was 40.
Honestly, yeah,
So,
I don't think it's gonna be nearly as much as all that, but it's weird on my screen when I try to search like Diablo 4,
mm,
all it pulls up is the currencies
uh-huh.
and the various like versions of the game. No expansions, no nothing else. So all I can do is like upgrade to the deluxe edition, upgrade to the
Mm,
ultimate or whatever. but I have no idea like where these expansions are in my market
Uh,
and how to buy them personally.
you're right. I'm trying to look it up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
where?
I don't know if you remember, like a couple of years ago, it felt like searching things was just busted and you couldn't
Yes.
find anything. It feels like that.
Yeah. So I pulled up Diablo 4. I'm looking at full stuff.
Like maybe if you search the subtitle, but then you have to know what the subtitle
Uh
is.
it's Lord of Hate, Lord of
Lord of
Hatred.
Hatred is what it will be. Yeah, yeah. Currently it's something else that I'm forgetting.
Yeah, let me see if it pulls up as Lord of Hatred. Dun, 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 dun. Let me see, Lord of Hatred.
Probably gonna pull up a bunch of other stuff.
Add-ons, Diablo 4. It's 40. It's 40.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, hey, that's something to keep in mind.
mhm.
I think one of the biggest issues that I had with Diablo is that once you beat it and you get to max level with your main character,
The
all you're
season's
doing,
asking you, we were asking you to like reroll a new character and something like that.
yeah,
You remember
it's
that?
well, that was my issue. I think I've kind of come around to it because kind of like choosing a character to only temporarily use starts to feel a little more accurate. Like instead of Destiny where you have everything
Hmm.
within your character, it's like what if you only create a character that's like a solar titan, and
Hmm.
then like the next season you had a void titan or something within that, um where this feels more like you're encouraged to change it up and move around. But I'm also really struggling with that even in Destiny right now, where
Hmm.
it's like, what is the goal? Better loot. Well, I kind of like what I have.
Hmm.
That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like you don't, it's not conducive to contentment. You
Hmm.
really need to always be wanting to do something else and to redo stuff constantly
Hmm.
to do it. That's what I don't like. But so if it's fun, then that's great. And Paladin might get me, but I don't know if it's going to get me right now.
Yeah. I've been debating because I did like Diablo 4 quite a lot. It was just it
I
was
liked it.
in
I really
in
did.
seasons that I kind of like lost interest, but in the main campaign and like in the main for like main expand like for actual main content where you use your main character is like that game's great. So,
I'm almost debating like if I make a new one, I'm just going to play through the main story because I enjoyed that much more than whatever they had
mhm.
post
And
game.
that's kind of and that's kind of like my thought and be like for $20 and we get that expansion. It was like just something to think about. So yeah, that's coming out on April 28th. They showed the debut trailer for the Street Fighter movie, which looks so bad it's gonna be
Oh
awesome.
my gosh,
Oh,
how is that a real movie? I was watching that like surely this isn't it.
50 Cent as one as Balrog, I think is the character. Like,
Balrog,
oh my
yep.
god, he looks so funny,
This is very clearly not trying to take itself seriously.
and I
Like
love it for it. I love it for it.
I I I just hope that like they stay in on the joke on that and like
Mm-hmm.
kind of roll with it because I think people were really expecting something like your Mortal Kombat trying to take itself seriously,
Mm-hmm.
mostly,
Yeah,
maybe. But man, that was rough looking. Everybody was like, that's like a 1993 commercial.
I know, but so it's like it's just I think it's just gonna be dog water, and as long as they're in on the joke, it's kind of like I said, I'm not beyond just enjoying dog water, like
Yeah,
literally when it comes to
I'll
that.
take
So
it.
I did enjoy how they showed basically almost the entire cast. They kind of brought them together to like present an award, and I love how game a lot of them were. I mean, they have Cody Rhodes and Jason Momoa as part of that cast. So, and I love that they have David Asmalchian as what you call it main villain Bison. So it's like he looks so
Oh
perfect
yeah.
as Bison. So uh, we also got another Star Wars game, Paul, from former Burnout and Need for Speed developers, Star Wars
What a
Galactic
journey.
Racer. So it's like two Star Wars games in the same like in the same show. And this one is coming in 2026, and it takes place in a galaxy where the Empire is gone and a new galactic league has formed. So it's kind of like a post-Empire, like oh yeah, let's bring back lawlessness and racing again and all of that. So
I'm interested because I think I said it to my coworker today. Star Wars was at its best when they always had some kind of racing game
mhm.
that you could just fall back on.
When they had weird games all over the
Yeah,
place.
just like
Yeah.
oh, hoe that license out, please. Just let everybody make whatever they want. Stop trying to worry about it being canon and just let it roll.
Mm.
And I'm here for whatever that is. And the fact that it's not even actually like a pod racing game, it's like there's going to be some real variations to the
Hmm.
sizes and builds, I guess. Sebulba's showing back up in it. That's
Yeah,
really
which
funny.
I'm like he survived like the 30-year Empire reign. Interesting.
I mean, hey, if he's really good at what he does and he keeps sabotaging everybody else, I guess he would be still
uh
alive.
which is so funny. Like
I know, right?
the person that beat him actually died.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
Think about that.
he's it's either he bowed out and whoever actually took the case is now dead, and
uh
or he just got really good at what he does. Um, any case, it looks really fun. It looks like we're gonna have some stuff that I think that was not
2026.
Jeddah, Jakku the planet is
Hmm.
what I
Jakku,
was.
yes. Like
But
it
yeah,
was
like
Jakku.
whatever they got for me, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. As long as they learn their lesson with squadrons, where if they're
Mhm.
trying to do PvP and stuff, please actually give us some support to back that
Yeah,
up.
that's
Don't
still
just
it.
drop it and go, "Yep, here it is,
One of the
5v5. We're not
biggest
gonna do anything
fumbles.
else."
One of the biggest fumbles, like how they treated
Insane to me.
squadrons. Um, like it could have been it could have been so much better. But hey, more Star Wars games. So
Yeah.
plus like the remakes are happening, and the third Jedi game's coming soon. So it's like at any point, let's hope. So unless the Saudis kill it with the acquisition of EA, who knows? But another big thing here, Phantom Blade Zero showed another extended kind of like gameplay look and gave a release date for September 9th, 2026. And remember, this is not a Souls-like. This is an action game by a Chinese developer called S Game. And again,
It looks really good,
the
man.
pendulum has swung back to the action to the combo-based action game. You can see like the quick
I
time
saw it
events.
was like the
Uh,
weird parry thing, had you jump on the guy's axe and then stab him in the neck, and I was like, "Oh, that was cool, man!" Like we got some variation instead of just like, "Oh, hit the button and do like a weird little reflect or whatever." It's like it's like what I think I was hoping for from Wukong,
mm-hmm.
where this is actually some interesting variety in the combat and multiple weapons,
Yeah.
an actual story that I want to follow.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Wukong suffered for the fact that it looked like an action game, but it was a Souls-like. And I was like, I would have enjoyed that game so much more if it wasn't a Souls-like. They've been selling this game as Kung Fu Punk and not a Souls-like. So it's like that has now become a selling point. It's so funny. It's like because that's how you know that there is a tiredness to every action game being like put in that Souls-like umbrella. And the fact that now you're promoting like these action games that at first glance could look like a Souls-like, but they're like, nope, it is not. It's not. Stop like putting everything in a bucket.
You
That's gonna be coming out on September 9th. That's a PS5 exclusive. For PS5, they have Neo 3, Saros, Marvel Token Battle, Phantom Blade Zero, and Wolverine for next year. That's 5 games. So I thought Wolverine was gonna be September because Spider-Man was September, the first one. But I think it's gonna be Spider-Man 2 October. Like they're probably gonna like slot it there because I can't see them launching Wolverine next to this is one of their other games. So,
I
so
mean, it wouldn't be the first time somebody has, but at least I would say Sony's been better.
yeah, they tend to like at least
Yeah.
give space. Like for example, when they had Final Fantasy 16, they didn't put any of their games like around it. They knew that that was like their marquee title. So for the first specific phase. So we already talked about Pragmata getting a demo coming to Switch 2. The next thing here, Gang of Dragon is Toshihiro Negoshi's new game, and it sure looks like Yakuza. So the creator of Yakuza left RGG and he built a new student with the money of NetEase, and he's basically doing Yakuza, but now with this very popular Korean actor that's like such a chunk. And I saw
It's like a
screenshots.
big burly dude
Yeah.
that is very good in his acting career at doing one thing, and that is being a big burly dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like when I saw that, I was like, kind of I'm interested because like this is
Every
Yakuza.
once in a while I'll see clips of movies that he's been in, and it's like the coolest thing. It's like
Yeah.
instead of your super acrobatic Jackie Chan, it's like a guy that just no sells any attack against him.
Mm-hmm.
Like if The Rock had sauce, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, it's very much like that. Gosh, I'm down for whatever this is. Because we haven't even seen gameplay, but we've seen screenshots,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like I said in our chat, like in the most positive way I can say, it looks like a 360 game that would never be made anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like your real Kane and Lynch, but good or slash better. It has like gameplay in a car. It looks like so you're not just going to be going down a hallway after hallway, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
more like a sleeping dog situation, but
Yes.
whatever it is, homeboy looks ready to roll, and I am ready to follow him
Yes.
because this looks really cool.
And the fact that it's not a Yakuza game with all the baggage of having to play all
Uh-huh.
these games, it's like it's
Not
gonna
having to
make it
deal with
easy.
any of that,
Yeah.
not follow any of the characters. It's like what I think they wanted to do with Judgment,
Mm-hmm.
except I have a feeling I can't
If
remember the guy's name because I struggle to pronounce it sometimes. But the Donnie boy
mm-hmm.
is much more affordable than the dude they got for Judgment.
Yes.
Because I think that's the reason why they stopped is like they did two, and now he's too expensive to pay
mm-hmm.
for. So
Yeah.
they just had to cancel the series after they were like, yeah, this is gonna take on the action focus of the Yakuza series now.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, how'd that go for you, buddy?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just glad to be able to jump it. Like even though right now the PS5 versions of the Yakuza 1, 2, and 0 are available now, so it's like at least like if anyone just wants to like do a modern version of a game to at least start there, you can do that now with Yakuza. But we know there's so many games still ahead. Uh, I'm glad that this is like its own thing from that same creator. It looks similar. This could be like a good jumping on point for the people who are interested in that style of game, not the turn-based one, but the action brawler one that Yakuza made its bones on. So that's coming. They didn't give it a year for that one, but I'm gonna be looking forward to whenever they say more. Warlock Dungeons and Dragons is a new single player RPG that leans into expressive magic. This is one that you said that you want to be excited, but you
But
have licked them,
one, it's a
licked them
CG
back.
trailer, but
Uh,
two, I have the Lichtem Battle Mage PTSD. And then also, this is once again done by Wizards of the Coast,
mm-hmm,
and they don't realize what a good game is if it
mm-hmm,
bit them in the ass. So
exactly, yeah.
we're gonna
Uh,
find out if this is any good.
mm-hmm,
Expressive magic has me curious, but we've also seen that done a
yes.
lot.
Yes, another thing announced was Forest 3, which is kind of the third game of like the Forest and Sons of the Forest.
Crazy to
That's a
find out that
very
they're doing the sci-fi vibe.
uh
I was not prepared for it, but realistically, now that I think about it, between doing Forest, Forest 2, Children of the Forest,
uh-huh.
the modern day forest survival is getting a little old. You got to
Yeah, they
branch out
needed
a
to do
little.
something to kind of like make it look fresher. So,
Mhm.
Highgar ended the Game Awards with a look at its new take on
Oh my
PvP. So this
gosh.
was like at the what ended the show with a little bit of a dud. Like I understand kind of like the idea of trying to showcase a game from the creators of Apex Legends and Titanfall. The
The
fact that
only
it's
way this could have worked is
mm,
if it had dropped right after
right
the show.
after, yes,
That was the only way of like, check out this game, play it now.
like they did Apex Legends, because if Apex Legends, when it was announced as, hey, it's a battle royale from the Titanfall
Yep.
universe, and people had the time to marinate on it, the people would have hated. But the fact that Apex Legends was like, we're doing this, and the full game is available right now, go play it,
Because I
helped that game a
remember
lot.
I went on record going, this is dead in the water. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why would they do this? This is a horrible idea. It's going to die on the vine. But once again, the fact that they shadow dropped it, I could go straight from my comment to
Mm-hmm.
picking it up and playing it myself and going, wait a minute, this actually plays really well. They might
Mm-hmm.
have something here. And now, what is it, 4 or 5 years later?
Yeah, it's still like
We're
Apex still
now
yeah.
it's might not be as strong as it was, but it's certainly still there and it's making
That's
plenty of
what's so
money.
funny. It is strong. It's just it's so quietly strong. It's just not like it's not always in the
All the
like
loud
the
people are
spotlights. Yeah.
playing Fortnite and Arc Raiders right now.
Exactly. But that game just exists and it's always
Yep.
funding EA
And it's
doing
it's
stuff.
doing its thing, man.
Yeah. So this comes out in January 26th, 2026. So unfortunately, they have to wait a month of bad PR. I have no doubt that it's going to play good if the pedigree is any indication, because those guys know how to make a great playing shooter. But this is definitely a. We'll believe it when we see it. It doesn't seem like as disliked as something like Concord that was so immediately like rejected upon first seeing, and that was a paid game. This is gonna be free, so at the very least, it's gonna have that. but it would have benefited them for them to do the finals thing did in 2023 when they had already announced it before, but at that Game Awards it's like available now, play it now. So it's like sometimes that's the best because that's how you can prevent any bad comments to build, especially in the more cynical era that we live in of social media. So this one's for you, Paul.
Yes,
Total War
sir.
Warhammer 40K announced from Creative Assembly.
Believe me, the confusing phrasing of Total War Warhammer still kills me because they've been
Yeah,
doing it for three games by now. But
yeah,
please continue your thought there.
yeah. It's like this the rumor when we got the old Republic that we knew that there was something old Republic coming. People were like, and that Total War was like our next big thing is gonna be like in a beloved universe. People were like,
Yep.
oh, are they gonna do like the old Republic Star Wars? That's like, okay, that would be interesting. But everyone was like, man, I kind of just want a single player thing. And we got the best of both worlds. We got that
Yep.
single player old Republic thing happening, and Warhammer 40K, the most perfect like franchise
Is
to do this kind
so
of
made
thing.
for
Is like,
this.
and how when they showed the little bit of gameplay near the end, when you see
Yeah.
like the big kill,
The fact that I had to rewatch it a couple of times, and I got so giddy when I saw the text at the bottom and it
Mhm,
says all rendered in engine as gameplay. I went, this is gameplay. I thought it was like a fake Killzone 2 kind of
mhm,
thing because it just flowed so perfectly.
uh,
And I mean, it showed such a short amount of gameplay. I want more of it.
mhm,
And we didn't even get anything close to a real release date. I got so excited.
mhm,
I broke all of my rules of
yeah,
like, don't get excited for a CG trailer
uh,
that doesn't show any release date, but there's everybody has their exception, and that is
and
one for me.
to be fair, you know what Total War is. You
Yeah.
what you saw
It's
is
a
like
whole,
it's.
they've been doing this for 30 years now,
Mhm.
so
So it's
I
like
gotta say I know what I'm gonna get.
so you're allowed to be excited for this because you're getting a Warhammer 40K version of this kind of game. I
Yep.
don't know if next year, but it's something certainly want to keep an
It's
eye
something
out
out
on.
there.
It's like,
Shoot.
and to me, it's like it's such a perfect IP for them to do this, and like the scale of how they're doing it is exactly like the thing that you want out of a Total War thing of like seeing all the massive thing happening on the ground, while then you can zoom out into outer space into like into other fronts of war. It's like yes, so
And I don't know if you ever played the other Warhammer, like the fantasy one, the Total War version of that.
I don't think I did. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
So though like Total War is usually of varying levels of like contained into a specific time period or a specific country, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
Warhammer throws that out of the window because they give you like six different very, very large factions across this massive map. I
Mm-hmm.
picked because I think I have Warhammer 2, Total War Warhammer 2, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like the shortest, like 20 turn thing. And they're like, all right, you got to go from here to do this quest thing. And you got this thing. And all of these people are up against you already. It's like just starting you off in the worst possible way where usually you're at like peace or at war with only one person. And just the sheer amount of like zooming out I had to do on the map and scrolling to the side to find where they wanted me to go for my what I don't even think was the end quest
Mm-hmm.
was just like I could play this game for hundreds of hours if I really liked what I was doing. Um, I did not pick the best faction for what my vibe was, but I picked like the edgy elves, and all they would talk about is like the blood fountains and the slaves are coming to do this thing, and we must hunt them down. And I was like, oh, buddy, this is dark. Just getting tired of this, man. But all that is to say, it's a massive scale, and I've never seen something like that even be capable. I looked it up, like, can the Steam Deck run these games?
Yeah, I
And
was gonna. That was
it
what I
can
was gonna
run
say. Yeah.
all of them technically. Uh, the I think Warhammer 3 is the one where they're like, yeah, it struggles a bit. You got to like really bump down its ability, run it at 30 FPS
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
but
it's
that's the
just
thing.
such a huge game, man.
And it's a strategy game. Like you can, it's like you
Oh
don't
yeah.
need high frame rate for
No, yeah,
for that
and
kind of
all
game.
you need to be able to see is all of like the icons and everything, and you kind of work with what you got. But
Yeah, the fact that it got you thinking of a Steam Deck really goes to show like how they got you with this
I
one.
I cannot believe the switch up within a couple of hours of like I found out that was this is the one of two things that really got me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'm casually into Warhammer 40K, but
Mm-hmm.
I really love Total War, and I keep like one day I'm going to either go back to my PC or I'm going to get a Steam Deck and I'm going to play Total War on it because
Mm-hmm.
just there's no RTS games on console. I don't know why they can't figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
Halo Wars can do it, even if
Yeah.
it's that StarCraft and not really Total War style. They should be able to do this by now, man. It's 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But like just seeing that and like feeling the possibility just hit me all at once while I was working. I was like, I would buy an on sale Steam Deck if it meant I could play my indie games and Total War again. And like after that moment, I started looking it up and seeing what's going to happen. Turns out the winter sale for Steam is going to happen, and there's a rumor that they're going to put the OLED on sale.
Mm-hmm. That would be the
Um,
one that you should get if you get it.
oh, they'll probably get me, but we'll see. We're going to find out.
To be fair,
Anyway,
Paul, there's nothing in January of any interest.
yeah,
So if you
no,
need to save money,
I even looked it up and there's
no.
absolutely nothing. And so help me, we better
The,
not buy anything else that's going on
the
sale.
year really only starts for me theoretically with Code Vein 2, which is at the end of January, and that's a big maybe.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's but
and
like February, I think early and mid February has got a couple of things for
mhm.
us.
Yeah, like
But
Kiwami
really
3,
it
yeah, Yakuza Kiwami
uh
3 early in
right.
February, and Resident Evil Requiem at the end of that month. So it's like
Yeah.
it really starts
That's
with
really where it
Requiem.
kicks up. And
Mhm.
then March is gonna be just where it begins and
Exactly.
continues
So
to
if you
go.
need to like save money for that, like that could be like the time that you can kind of like.
Well, the problem is that I spent 500 on my Switch 2 for far less games.
Mm-hmm.
And I barely touch it right now until more things come out for it.
Mm-hmm.
But this would open up so many
Because
games
of the sales, because of the
because of all of the deep sales, as
uh
long as we could be patient, Alejandro.
yeah. Not only
um,
that, like there's always so many sales there, and there's you can try to enable the PS like the make it a PS Portal almost.
I did it
Also,
like because the we were talking about that when I bought my portal and thankfully returned it. So like
mm,
in my head, there's $200 banked back in my bank account that would have not been there if I had kept my portal. But
exactly, yeah.
now, if I just get smart about it, maybe I can play all of my PlayStation games native on a
On the
better hardware,
yeah, on a
and then
native
I'll have
hardware.
the deck for when the console comes out and I can connect it to that. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
really coping right now, man.
Yeah, but it's like
But
it's gonna
all
be
that is
funny
to
seeing you
say,
like cope in the first few months of next year with that.
Total War 40K definitely got me super interested, and I am
Hmm.
very happy about
Yeah,
that. But yeah,
I'm gonna go quicker in this last few ones. So
yeah, go for
yeah,
it.
she's going to be a pivotal part of the story. Invincible versus has a completely original fighter just for the game called Ella Mental,
Elemental, yeah.
which is so funny.
I will say her powers look really cool. She's literally just the avatar.
Hmm.
Um, this isn't the first time they've done something like that. But also Invincible Versus gives me like the Mortal Kombat ick of
Uh,
like it's so realistic, but it's not really built for how fast characters are meant to move in a
hmm.
fighting game. So it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And it just looks gross sometimes. I don't want my character covered in blood after getting punched one time. Come on.
Hmm. Yeah.
But that's kind of the point, and that's what a lot of people come to Invincible for, even though that's not really my thing.
Yeah, but isn't Invisible more deliberate when it delivers the blood and guts? Usually, kind of like
It there's times when it definitely goes way overboard, but
mm,
most of the time I feel like they're very strategic when they go extremely gory for a reason. And usually all of the characters that should be grossed out by that very much are.
mm,
Like it's more of a realistic um oh my god, this is horrific and disgusting as opposed to kind of relishing in it,
mm-hmm,
which ironically I feel like this game is definitely relishing in it.
mm-hmm.
Somebody like Adam Eve is not going to be super happy about ripping a character to pieces,
Uh,
but she seems to be perfectly fine with it in this game. So,
yeah.
on the other hand, it's also made by ex Killer Instinct devs, so I know the game is going to be solid. I
And
have to give them props for it.
Maximilian Dude has been like
Does endorse it.
consulting. consulting
Um,
on the development for this game. So
so I think it's going to be really good. It's just a shame that something that I like the IP of is probably not going to be a game for me.
because
I
it's
will,
a fighting
it,
game that not
yeah,
doesn't really fit for you.
I think I could easily wait on this one, watch some gameplay clips, and feel like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, or just watch Maximilian Did play. Basically,
Exactly.
that's why
I could
I
easily
love
do that.
I love watching him play like the fighting games that way. For Loop revealed as PlayStation's new sci-fi co-op shooter from Bad Robot from J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot Company and Left 4 Dead designer.
I think I
Uh,
lasted about 30 seconds into this
yeah,
trailer.
yeah,
It
same.
was like
I was
cool
excited by the
concept.
idea, and then I was like, the
Yeah.
tone really killed me. It's like the fact that it's third person instead of first person. I was like, man, you had the Left 4 Dead creator right there, and you went for the third person. Come on, Sony,
If
like lay out the third person. And even the tone was like they're trying to do the Helldivers thing of like
Mhm.
dropping and all that. You can
Like I
kind of
get it, because of course somebody's already done it and crushed it. So of course everybody's going to try to copy. I think if you'd taken all of the branding away from this and told me it was like a DLC for Call of Duty, I'd believe you.
yeah,
Which is not a good thing to have,
yeah.
by the way.
I
So
tell you, like PlayStation has quite the record trying to pick their multiplayer live service games. They put their stamp on because they put their stamp on this. So this one is gonna be a reserve judgment like to its quality when I have
yeah,
hands on, because I wouldn't have expected to love Helldivers 2 as much as I did until we played it. So, so it's like I want to give it the benefit of the doubt there, but then I see so many. It looks also so generic to that. It's like it's a typical Sony thing. They do one genre of game and then they do like 3 or 4 versions of the same thing, like at the same time. It's like it's so funny how that works for them. Next thing, the next game from the developer of The Ascent is called No Law, and it looks a bit like Cyberpunk 2077. It's insane how much
this.
it
I found out that the voice actor is Male V.
is. It really? That's
That's
amazing.
what I was like. This feels kind of familiar. And sure enough, that was absolutely on purpose on them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as we discussed in our group, he's unfortunately not getting nearly as work as the female V voice actor, so you might as
Uh-huh.
well use him.
Might as well like CDPR trying to like pivot from the fact that he was the all over the main marketing of that game before they pivoted to female
I
B.
wonder if that's like on purpose for the branding side of it, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, we're not trying to do the old I'm talking out of my ass.
That.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, this looks actually really solid. I
Mm-hmm.
almost got like a Bulletstorm vibe from it,
Mm-hmm.
but taking itself seriously. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
The I don't feel like we have a whole lot of really good FPS games that look
Mm-hmm.
AAA, except for when Immortals,
Of
was
Avium
it
did. Immortals of Avium.
Avium?
Mm-hmm.
Immortals of Avium, thank you. Almost said Avium Rising, and I was like, no, that's the freaking Ubisoft game,
Uh,
Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix Rising.
Anyway, this looks really solid. I might actually be really curious about it.
Yeah, but you're definitely more curious for this. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief
Ain't no
and
curiosity, baby.
announced for
This thing's
PC.
got
Yeah.
my whole attention.
It's so funny because it's like I got to show
Holy
my dad Ace Combat
smokes.
7, and then he was like, they have not done a new one since. I was like, I don't know, let me check. Like, have they announced anything? And they said,
Nothing.
oh, and they're like, yeah, there's the anniversary is coming soon, so they have something in the works, and here it is. Ace Combat is back after 6 years.
I
That's
was I was so afraid that this was kind of petering out because like one of the big draws of Ace Combat is how are we going to slap all of the real life planes into this, usually through either paying license or partnership with Lockheed Martin. And
mm-hmm.
if you know anything about Lockheed Martin lately, they're in a bit of hot water right now. So I was really worried that like the only way that they were going to do it was don't do that and then you create your own like concept jets for it, or you're just not going to use the IP at all. So I was really worried that this was going to be dead in the water and we'd have to rely on like um, Project Wingman to continue on or anything else. Because I mean, frick, Hawks isn't going to be a thing anymore and hasn't been a thing for a really long time. But boy, I was so happy to see that. Like we got the. It's funny how they change the art style like from game to game completely.
All
The
the
only thing
time.
that's the same is the jets. And
Yeah,
you know what?
I'll
I'm
take
I'm
it.
I'm here for it because it's part of the fun, it's part of the flair. They're telling a slightly different story. It's all almost quote unquote all in the same universe. Which is funny. People are like putting all of it together, going like, "Man, it would suck to live in this world because they're in like a world war every 5 years."
Yeah.
There's always
Oh my.
some horrifying conflict going on in this world to justify having this air superiority gameplay. Um, and I don't know if you could hear the smile in my voice, man, but I'm just so happy this game is going to exist,
Yeah.
that I know it's coming, it's going to play here. Um, we got F-18 gameplay, which might be one of my favorite jets now,
Hmm.
and is still one of the only jets that is like consistently used, because I feel like the F-22 is just so overplayed and doesn't really have the same love
Hmm.
for it anymore. Um, but they're going to need to continue their little sci-fi push on like, let's make some fake jets, because they started to have to do that
Hmm.
between like F-35 and the Chinese one that I can't remember the name of, um, which look almost identical in a lot of ways. So they need to like push it, do some different stuff here, man. But at the same time, I'm fine if I have to fly another F-16 or an F-14 that's like 50 years old now
Uh-huh.
into the middle of this crazy battlefield. It's whatever, man. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and knowing how much you love Armored Core 6, like especially because it
Oh,
has
this,
sim
yeah, I think
it
that's one reason I loved Armored Core, is because I played this from like background on Paul. I played the original Air Combat on PS1, where like you play the bright red, white, and blue jets over a flat green square. And I love that whole series. Even like for some reason, I was able to play those much better than any other kind of game. My uncle would let me play it on his PS1,
mm,
so I'd play the original. I played one, two, three. Four was the last one I played. I missed five and zero,
mm,
and then I went back in with six and seven. Um, what a series! Just I love it so much. I will eat up every entry in that series. I even played Assault Horizon, and I liked
hmm.
Assault Horizon. So
Yeah.
that tells you how dedicated I am to that
Yes,
game.
and
I
I
have that CD of the soundtrack in my van still, and it
um,
slaps.
yes. Yeah, I was so happy that to see how excited you were with this because I was so excited for the fact that it returned because
I love the series so much.
they shouldn't take this long to make
It really shouldn't.
these
But
combat
I mean,
games.
if
So
they have to cook and do their thing to get this out, man, whatever they got to do, I'm here for it. And I'm ready to rock and roll the second it comes out. I will buy whatever version they've got.
this coming year. So,
Yes,
and
sir.
another thing coming early next year on March 27, 2026, James Bond 007 First Light, where we got a first taste of the villain, played by Lenny Kravitz, which is like the most random like choice for a villain that I could think. But it
The
at
more
least
you know Lenny Kravitz, I feel like this is very on brand for him.
yes. Yeah, but that to me like exemplifies the thing that I'm loving about what they're attempting with this Bond game, which is going back to the camp of the Pierce Brosnan
Yeah.
Roger Moore era, not Daniel Craig super
A
serious.
little bit tongue in cheek. Just I mean, once again, we're going back to Uncharted. It's
Mhm.
like that's the kind of camp that we're looking for, the Indiana Jones thing. So it's like a big globe-trotting adventure, except we're also kind of playing it fun and
Mhm.
a little silly.
And there's such an irony that you mentioned that because Steven Spielberg has specifically said that when he made Indiana Jones, like he did it in the
He
mindset that he
wanted to
wanted
do
to do a
that.
Bond game, a Bond movie.
I don't
So,
remember where I heard that, but as soon as I did, I went, "Oh,
do
that's
you watch
tracks so well."
the making of that was in the DVDs for Indiana Jones? Because I watched them when they were making the making of Raiders of the Lost Ark, the
I
making of
don't
the
think
whole.
I got to watch that one, not as a kid when I would have seen all of that, but
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I at least saw like a clip or somebody quoted that line
Mhm.
in something recently, and I was like, yes, that absolutely
It's why they cast
mind blowing.
Sean Connery on Last Crusade specifically because of that. Because it's kind of like
That would track, yeah.
a tongue in cheek way of like that. Like we wanted to do Bond movies, but we couldn't quite do it, and then we did this like adventure thing, but we did it kind of like in the spirit of that. So why not get Bond himself as the dad of our main character? So Lenny Kravitz is gonna be he's a who he rose from nothing, broke free, and built his own kingdom of LF basically. So I'm glad that it's like it's full on camp. I'm all for it. Game
Real
comes
quick,
out on
how are
March.
we doing on time? I've lost track of time.
Where we have 8 minutes, so I'm gonna
Okay,
blast
let's
through
go ahead
the
and
final
breeze through a
ones.
couple of these.
Yeah. Deadpool coming to Marvel Rival Season 6, and he arrives in January, and that includes a Rogue that comes out tomorrow from where, like, from where when we're recording.
Real excited about that. Don't know
Yeah.
if I'm gonna play it, but I love Rogue.
Yeah, The Witness and Braid creator Jonathan Blow announces new 250-hour puzzle game Order of the Sinking Star.
That was a
Uh,
wild headline to read.
yes. Lords of the Fallen 2 publisher discusses dismemberment, lore, and learnings for the sequel. So basically, they showed a new trailer for Lords of the Fallen 2. It looks different from Lords of the Fallen 1. So, Out of Worlds, it's a stunning and unique take on a co-op platforming game. This is this game that kind of like looks like what would be the art for this
It's not quite
yarn?
claymation,
Yeah, it's
but
like yarn, a mix of claymation and yarn almost.
yeah.
Uh,
I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly. What was the one that had the little yarn creature of PS4?
Yarny,
Unravel?
Unravel, yeah,
That's the one.
yeah, from EA, which is wild to think about that came
All
from
right.
EA.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, they showed another trailer for Neo 3 where they announced that there's gonna be a demo that carries progress for the full game. That demo comes out late January, and the game comes out on February 6th. Uh, the go circling back to Bradley the Badger. That's a game that was like a weird platforming game from the creator of Mario and Rabbids. So
Yeah,
that
it's
was like
like a or PG-13 Conquer, very
mhm.
like tongue-in-cheek, aware of itself, playing with the concepts of gaming and
Yeah.
very interesting.
And something that wasn't there that I definitely wanted to touch on. This was earlier in the show. The Last of Us and Uncharted 4 director Bruce Straley unveils next project, Coven of the Chickenfoot, which is kind of like
That's right.
this
Yeah.
artistic looking game where you play as this grandma that has chicken legs as she's kind of like guiding this beast in a thing that reminds me so much to The Last Guardian. Like
I was getting that vibe too, honestly.
yeah, and which makes sense because both Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley mentioned how much Eco was a big inspiration for what they were doing with Joel and Ellie and like the Joel and Ellie dynamic and the original Last of Us. So interested like, to be like he's playing homage to one of his favorite Japanese creators, Bruce Straley, as he's doing a game that's completely different from when he did or his last game, which was Uncharted 4. This emotionally rich, stylized single-player adventure will see Gert, the lady, needing to form a bond with a peculiar creature to fulfill a coven's oath. And then Decrepit, circling back, it's basically a first-person Souls-like. So
Yeah.
take that as you
I
take that
it's
as you leave it.
interesting, but it only said Steam, so I
Mm-hmm.
think it might be PC only for a little
Right now,
bit.
yes, for like for the. Are we talking about the coven, the chicken
No,
coven?
no, Decrepit.
Decrepit, yes, it's just PC for now.
Gotcha.
And then chicken food also is like wish list on Steam, but obviously that then eventually circles out for console versions. So
Kind of
and that's
ignoring some of these other ones. There's two things that I wanted to briefly
mm-hmm.
mention. One, Orbitals.
Yeah,
Did you see the trailer for that one?
yes, which was kind of like
Very
the
like
switch
It
to
Takes Two
uh-huh
style. Yeah. Oh, I loved the both the vibe of that and
and the animation.
the animation, the gameplay looks really cute.
Yeah,
Really like that. And then the other one that is just a complete surprise for everybody, except for me, if you know more about me, Screamer.
Screamer.
Kind of a
Oh
weird
yeah,
title,
the
but
rise the
dude,
racing game,
that is a
right?
freaking
Yeah.
speed racer ass game, and I am so here for it. Seeing the actual gameplay of it actually got me even more excited because it's
Yeah.
like dispatch style
Mm-hmm.
cutscenes mixed with like cyberpunk style racing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if y'all remember, there was it was technically Disney show called Motor City,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like rebellious teens with cars that could do supernatural things would fight back against New Detroit in like this sci-fi style of things. And man, it was just the coolest show, and it had no right being as cool as it was.
Mm.
Animated by the same people that did one of the early Love, Death, and Robots
Yeah,
season
really, that's
episodes. Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
really good.
yeah,
Anyway, this
and then
reminds me of that. I am absolutely buying this.
yeah, and then just real quick of other trailers for me, like they almost got me to reinstall Warframe thanks to freaking Werner Serhog.
That was a really good trailer. I got to give them that. That covered all of their content, and
uh
then you go in to load it in, and you have no idea how to access any of that.
exactly. Yeah, but it's like I
So
love like
bad at
yeah,
onboarding.
Werner Serhog is such a great like he has such gravitas. Like I loved him in The Mandalorian, and he's just like
It's
he's such a great actor. Like, he's a great director, but
for
he also
sure.
loves doing the acting. Uh, they're having Mila Jovovich as one of the
That was
target
funny.
the elusive targets for Hitman.
Really hearkening to Fifth Element in
Mhm.
no visual way, but in
Yeah.
like style.
And on Toast, is this game from the creators of Soma that has Stellan Skarsgård as like the main guy, as like the main voice guy, which is Luthen from Andor,
Right.
the actor. So it's like
I
a
didn't actually get to go check that one out, but I really want
yeah,
to
it's
find
like
out
yeah,
what's the
it's
games.
kind of like a sci-fi horror, or like 'cause it seems like sci-fi horror. Definitely look it up. The fact that it has Stellan Skarsgård, like you could feel like the weight. I was like, I recognize my boy Luthen. Hearing him and talking about the sunrise that he will never see. So
It just
and
it's
obviously Soulframe, it's I think out of beta they said the digital extremes, the melee version of Warframe, Soulframe. So
that was just probably the least inspired title I think I've ever seen.
I know exactly, yeah, and the fact that it's like tied to Souls is like, of course, but that was basically the announcements for the Game Awards. Pretty solid list of like a collection of announcements. Like not as it didn't have the earth shattering Witcher 4,
Yeah,
Project
but
Robot, and Intergalactic of 2024, but like for specific things that I like that
yeah,
speak to me, like I think I enjoyed this announcement slightly more.
at least that like there was plenty of stuff that I was seeing the numbers 2026 on there, and that made me happy enough. I think,
Uh huh.
especially because of all the stuff we've already got confirmed
And
for
Onimusha is still
2026.
Onimusha is still next year. So
Yep,
Capcom's gonna have a great year
somewhere in
next
there.
year. Sony is poised to have a better year next year. They confirmed Gears E Day is coming in 2026. That was like in a weird Game Pass ad where you see a janitor kind of like walking around. I was like, we're trying to say Xbox, like making an ad of Game Pass with a janitor. But like, yeah, Gears E Day is gonna be coming in 2026, so that adds to Fable supposedly hitting that year. The next Forza hitting that year. Halo campaign evolved is also in 2026. That's the 25th anniversary of Xbox. So it's like it is so wild to me that Xbox basically completely skipped the show and didn't even make a deal of like, hey, next year's
Not
our
even
25th anniversary. To
really any presence at all.
yeah,
Crazy.
but that's just where those brands are. And then PlayStation may not be putting out games themselves, but everyone's giving them games. And Nintendo proving to everyone, it's like we're a fighter now. Look, it's like they literally pay for an ad to show that they have Resident Evil Requiem and Final Fantasy VII, a
Yeah,
remake in it. It's like that's where they
good
are
for
now.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where they are now. It's like they're so that's the reason why Sony delivered that console for Japan that is like cheaper because they feel the threat now because they know that now Nintendo's like has come home to roost for them with like the HD sector that they were kind of like alone for a while. But yeah, that was the Game Awards. I enjoyed my time watching it yesterday. I'm excited for to see like everything that comes out soon, and we know that there's gonna be a developer direct early in January from Xbox when they
right.
usually like
Maybe
do.
that's why they stayed out of all
Oh
this.
yes, yeah, they know that it's still to me it's like unforced error because like there's more eyeballs here in the Game Awards than their developer directs. It's like you kind of want like the only thing they basically had was to throw away. Oh yeah, Gears E Days in 2026. That's literally it. What everything they had.
Kind of
So
forgot about that one too,
yeah, and
honestly.
then PlayStation announced a bunch of stuff here, including the pedo game. Seven Deadly Sins also
Yeah,
had a here. I love
what
that.
a
You forever ruined that game for me when you told me what that anime was.
I it was ruined for me, unfortunately, because I was really into the show when it came out. And
Yeah,
then after several episodes, I was like, there's something that feels very strange about this
yeah,
show. And
and then
sure
they tell.
enough, it was there.
Yeah, and I love like I always love throwing it that way when people describe it as like, wait, what? So it's
It's
always
a
a funny.
it's a bit over the top to describe it like that, but
Yeah,
it's another anime that has some really questionable choices of certain things and certain
yeah.
characters' ages.
I'll never
That's all.
forget like because I was at Summer Game Fest when they showed that game. Like at the
I
showcase, and then
remember
you
that.
mentioned
And
it, and
oh,
I showed it to his name is Luke from the Xbox Experience podcast that he was in our
oh
group.
no.
I showed it to him, and then you know what he said is like, we need to send the nukes to Japan. He
Oh
said,
no.
he said that because there was so much Japanese stuff like in the show, and it was that so it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, time to send the nukes again, and that's the way to end this
Amazing.
season 5 of the X Button. The final season is a pre-recorded show
Oh
as we
gosh.
transition over
We're gonna
to.
do the Netflix process. We're revitalizing it under a new name so that
Mhm,
neither of us get to get paid extra.
yeah, pretty much.
That's
But
exactly why we're doing this.
yeah, but yeah, Paul, like no, we're not gonna read game releases anymore, right, for
Nope.
this year because basically everything's out of notice from what I know. So it's like, and we're not gonna be back here next week, so and we'll be back in a month on the new format. But
One
next
day.
week, still you'll see some streams from me as I play game. I'm gonna stream one more week, but no more podcast. And then after that, I'm out until January 12th. So because I'm
Whenever
gonna
we
be
come
out.
back.
So
It's going to be fun, and next year is going to have its own interesting adventures.
yes. But any final thoughts, Paul, on 5 years of doing this show?
Man, it has been one wild ride to get to come in here almost every week with a couple of breaks in between.
Mm-hmm.
From getting handed this podcast as somebody who'd never listened to a podcast
Mm-hmm.
before, finally handing it off to you, who was far more passionate and interested and invested in this,
Mm-hmm.
and then getting to be along for the ride to see what this universe and what this industry had for us, and more importantly, what our lives ended up having for us as well.
Yeah.
I would say easily that neither of us is anywhere close to the kind of people that we were at the start of
Mm-hmm.
this.
Yeah.
We've grown a lot, and even if we have barely any subscribers, I think just being able to sit down and talk
Mm-hmm.
things out has made me a much more well-rounded person.
Yes, and we know that there's viewers there. At least it's not big, but it's
Somebody's
like
out
they're
there. There might
yeah.
be bots mostly with outside of about 20 people, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
y'all are the real ones.
Yes, but I've enjoyed doing it. But I've also been like feeling like this desire for us to evolve into something different because we've been doing the same thing for 5 years, and sometimes you kind of need that refresh. And I feel like switching it to live stream and seeing like what live streaming has done for me has been like, this like, kind of seems like a fun transition to do that. But
I think that's
that's
the best way this is going to be. Well, like even if the branding and the method kind of changes, it's still
mm,
going to be the same people doing relatively the same thing,
mm,
talking about the same stuff, and that is, I think, really all the real part that matters.
yeah. So can't wait for to see like how we evolve it now that we're fully transitioning over into like, this new live version
Hmm.
coming next year. But I've enjoyed doing it. It's been fun. It's been fun and interesting trying to fill in the gaps in of your absence too from like the parenthood last year and your complete like your
Yeah.
paternity leave, bringing in people this year to try to like fill up the entire month, but then like the transition over to like playing more games on stream. So it's like it's just been quite the journey. But I'm glad that we ended up doing it. I'm happy for the people that kind of joined in for the time that they did too, because it's like they gave their time too. But changes are afoot basically. So and I can't wait to see how
All right.
that change plays out for us. But I'll see you next year, but we'll keep chatting like we always do in our chats and our
As
discords.
always.
Like in our discords, because now we got a discord with like a couple people there. They're kind of slowly joining in. We got discussions going. I'm like, yes, yes. I like where this is slightly going. But until then, until next year, enjoy your break, enjoy the holidays, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you back on the week of January 12th, and then on a new format.
And I'm gonna have a second kid,
Of course, this is how it's gonna happen, huh?
and it's a girl.
Is it really?
Good night, everybody.
Hasta la vista, baby.